Hey, everybody. I think we're live. Okay, so welcome to part 6 of 6 in our Embodied Wealth series. So today's a wrap up. I'm going to give you a bunch of practices, like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 practices. I have to look at my notes. And I'm going to share a couple things that I haven't shared with you in this training yet. So there's also some new components to this. And we're going to really conclude the sense of you being able to rewire yourself to feel really safe with first stepping into the fullness of you, and then also feeling really safe with creating, receiving, and holding more money, but also more clients, more joy, more ease, more of everything you want. What we've been doing this entire month is kind of diving deep into what I called the boundless body, boundless money protocol. And we've been playing with essentially, like, I've been teaching you how to start to hack your body, to hack your nervous system, your brain, your energy, and your identity so that you can become unstoppable and you can start to feel truly worthy and comfortable with embodying your bigness and creating the life and the business that you want and the finance, the money that you want. What today is about you having some very simple practices and ways of being, different ways of being that you can start to incorporate in your daily routine, so that you can slowly start to increase your capacity to be that big, in your life and your business, and to receive and hold what you desire without overwhelm, without doubt, without having to sacrifice yourself, so that you can start to let go of a lot of the patterns and the programming that we have that essentially kind of almost force us to overcomplicate the process, or on the other side of that, to start to sabotage our progress. Now, what I want you to also keep in mind is that what we're doing together here in this video, but also what we've been doing across the entire last 4 or 5 weeks, really just scratches the surface of what's possible for you in terms of the rewiring and recalibration process, and also scratches the surface of what we do in the somatic mastermind. And I just want to remind you that during the March Money and Miracles special, the expansion experience, my somatic mastermind, is on sale, and you can save up to $1,400. You can start for as low as $144. And today is the 31st, so technically it should end today. I'm going to end it tomorrow. So you've got today and tomorrow left to join. So if you've been thinking about it, please don't wait. Go check out like all the details. It's in the description of this training, and join us because we would love to have you. All right, so I want to take a minute to introduce myself before we dive deep into all these practices. More than likely at this point, if you've been following, you know me. I'm Ilsa. Welcome. It's nice to connect with you. I'm a total spiritual nerd. I'm a nature lover. I'm a bookworm. I'm a dog mama. I live in Boulder, Colorado with my husband and our 2 dogs. From a professional standpoint, for the last 22 years or so, I've worked as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, a strategist. I work with all sorts of people, but mainly I work a lot with high-level service provider, transformational leaders, and I help them rewire their nervous system, their brain, their bodies, their energy level, their business, what it is that they're doing for easeful growth, for consistent results, for deeply nourishing and exciting new levels of money. I essentially help them be more, do more, create more, and receive more without all that friction, all that rub that can come in the process of expansion. So that's what I do. And again, I want to, if this calls to you, if this resonates, then my work is probably for you. And I want to invite you to check my program while it's still on special until tomorrow, and to join us if you feel called. And just click the Google Doc in the description of this video, and you'll get all the details. And the other thing I will say is, if you want to hop on a call with me, maybe you're joining us kind of late, and you didn't realize that there was this special going on, and you want to hop on a call. If you book this call by tomorrow, I will honor this price, even if we have our call in a week from now, or 10 days from now, or whatever it may be. So don't hesitate. Don't think you missed. If you want to have a chat, book it by tomorrow, and I will honor this special for you. Okay, so let's get started. Did you know that every year, 95 to 90% of all the atoms that make up your body are actually replaced? And there's different studies that have studied these, but essentially most of them agree that is like 99.99% of all our atoms are like replaced every 5 to 7 years. So by like 7 years from now, at the latest, you will be a completely different human from a physical standpoint. But most of these studies also agree that actually 97% of all your atoms are usually replaced within 1 year. Like every year, like 97% of our body is different. Like the water molecules that are stored in your body, which is about 70% of what you are, those are exchanged every 60 days. The atoms of your skin every 4 weeks, the atoms of your liver and some other different organs take 6 to 8 weeks. And it's actually the atoms of your bones that will take 8 to 11 months. But I'm saying this because I want you to realize how much newness is possible for us if we start to have a different belief system, a different wiring, a different neurology that gets imprinted. Like for a lot of us, we create the same thing because we're locked in into the identity, the belief system, the past that we've had. And, you know, we talked last week, I went into a little bit of depth on like one of the things that I love about this work is that literally your body, your nervous system is like a time travel machine. Like it has access to your entire past that's lodged in the body, but also to your entire future and what is possible and your potential and all of that. And so one of the things that's happening here is that we're continuously being shifted, being exchanged at a cellular level. And if we could actually start to embody a new identity, a new belief system, new ways of thinking, new ways of perceiving ourselves, new ways of responding to our environment, which is essentially the work that we're doing. The rewiring work is exactly that. Then everything in the way nature is set up, it's set up to help us do that. Because within a year, like 97% of every cell in your body has been replaced. So what's happening here, when like from a scientific, as best as I can be scientific, I'm more of a spiritual nerd than I am of a scientific mind, just so you know. But what's happening is that literally the atoms in our bodies are being exchanged with our environment. Like we're constantly taking in water molecule from our environment as we're shedding our own. And it's almost like a breath, right? Where like you're constantly exchanging yourself and the environment's giving you things and you're giving what's yours to the environment. And so there's no clear boundary where we end and where the universe begins. We are made of the universe. Like our life, this life is one big movement of taking and giving and receiving. So the universe is in us and we are in it. We are it. Life, receiving, growing, whether it's your personal life or your business or your money, is one boundless flow. And we are that boundless flow. So this is like the spiritual nerd in me coming out. But when you start to realize that, you start to realize that you're not anchored in place. And what you think is possible, the boundaries of your limits, is not actually what's true. And then at that point, you start to embody that vastness, that connection with the all. That's when your fear starts to drop, your limits start to drop. And when I mean drop, meaning you start to shed them, you start to dissolve them, you start to release them, your resistance starts to be released. Because you realize that this is one flow and you're part of it. Like I will say sometimes, what you desire is actually what life desires for you. There's no friction here. If you have a desire, you didn't come up with that desire. It emerged naturally out of you. And like I said, like you're constantly receiving new atoms from life. So how do you know this is even your desire? What if it's actually life's desire? What if your desires, what you want, what you feel called to create is actually exactly what life wants you to create? So your desires are life's desires. And so when we start to realize that, a lot of the friction start to release. And that's when our ability to receive starts to increase and starts to grow, because we realize that we are one with everything. So the thing you desire out there, it's already yours. You're one with it. The thing you want to heal and move beyond that's in here, you get to have that. That desire is life's desire, and you are one with everything. You get, because there's like this connection and you start to see how everything is interconnected, then your resistance, your fear starts to dissolve, but also your access to your own genius, to the guidance of your boundless body is activated, because you start to realize this isn't just your wisdom. This is life's wisdom happening through your body. Your body is like an intermediary, because remember, like 97% of your cells and your atoms are basically new every year. Like this, when you start to really touch in to the wisdom of your body, you start to be able, your brain starts to be able to decode and understand the language of your body. You're not just talking to the wisdom within, you're talking to the wisdom with a big W. You're talking to the wisdom of life that is actually happening through your body and alive in your body. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm not being too heady. But this work that I do around the nervous system and around releasing resistance and accessing aliveness and spaciousness is essentially a releasing of a sense of separation that makes everything hard. And it's an activating of flow, of oneness, of ease in creating everything, because you have literally dissolved the boundary between you and your life. Like when we talk about manifestation, I think in many ways manifestation and even some of the manifestation practices that are out there are really about dissolving that barrier and realizing that you can master your reality because you are reality. And when you start to truly embody your vastness, you start to really embody that you are one with life, essentially, and you start to have direct access to this wisdom, to this inner GPS within you, this guidance become your gateway to your most authentic authority. It becomes your gateway to your true magnetism, to your most potent genius. It comes not only from the depth of you, but it comes from the wholeness of life. And at that point, when you do that, when all that separation, all those wounds, all this not enoughness, because once you realize that you're all of life, there's no such thing as I'm not enough, or I'm unworthy, or I'm not big enough, or good enough, or pretty enough, or whatever enough. All of that starts to dissolve, because who the fuck are we to say that we're not enough when we're the entirety of life in this body, in this being? So when you start to realize that, and you start to really become your own authority, then you become also your own inspiration. You become your own business, marketing, joy, wealth, mentor, and advisor. Your business and the way you grow it, your life and the way you design it, all of it becomes a true and genuine reflection of you at your deepest, of your truest desires, of your mission. And when I think of, I was going to say of your destiny, but when I think of destiny, what I mean is, and the life that you were born to lead, whatever that looks like for you. At that point, you are so anchored in your own knowing, in your own worthiness, deservingness, fullness, that there's no more following other people's truth and advice. Which, by the way, most of which will never work for you anyways. So, like, if you've been going around following all these different strategies, these different mentors, these different coaches, and spending a shit ton of money, and all of it feels hard, and all of it, none of it is really working for you, that's because you're following somebody else's authority. And that person is not teaching you how to come home to you and how to decode and decipher the language of you. That person is teaching you how to follow them. And you were never born to be a follower. You were born to be a leader. Once you get to this place, that is true freedom. That is the essence of creation and of receivership. So that's the work we're doing. So in this work, we're teaching the body that it's safe to receive more, and that receiving should feel good, can feel good, and that it's supposed to happen through doing it your way. And over time, as you deepen and cultivate and expand your nervous system, your body, you also start to deepen, cultivate, and expand how much ease, how much joy, how much delight, how much nourishment and pleasure you can expect and allow yourself to experience in the process of living and receiving. I've often felt like there's this unconscious thing that's happening within us, probably from all the conditioning, all the wounding, where we are almost punishing ourselves. We're making things hard. We're pushing ourselves to have to earn everything we receive. We're sacrificing for what we want. And all of that is some kind of like internal, we're seeking validation from out there. And all of that is some kind of internal wound of unworthiness, internal wound of smallness, internal wound of separation. Once you move through all of that, then literally you start to allow yourself to experience creating and receiving in a way that feels really nourishing and really easeful. Because you no longer need to punish yourself. You know that you are life. You know that What you're creating, what you're receiving is literally what life wants to happen. So who are you to argue against life? The other thing that we've been really working on in this entire series is teaching our bodies, your body, to learn to rest, to relax, to release some of the chronic tension, some of the chronic resistance that we've been conditioned for. And in doing that, as we're learning that creating and receiving can feel deeply nourishing, and we're learning simultaneously to release all the contraction, all the armoring, all the programming that keeps us small, that keeps us oppressed, that keeps our life being hard, what we're doing is we are shifting the biochemistry and the neurocircuitry of your body. And then you start to add that, the practice of doing that, with the fact that our body is continuously being made new through our environment. And at some point, you start to realize that you're a new person and your whole being, mind, brain, nervous system, body, energy, identity, your whole being starts to trust that receiving and having more is safe, and starts to trust that you are now a version of you who has the capacity to hold what you desire and to receive it with ease. And that's when everything starts to flow, because now there's no more resistance. There's no parts of you at the end of this journey, right? Like, I'm not at the end of this journey. I'm still working with it. There's still plenty of parts of me who believe that growth is hard, or believe that more money, more clients, more problems, more effort, more issues. And that kind of like really old conditioning, that wounding, creates friction inside me and creates resistance and sabotage for my growth. And so I'm still working on this. I'm doing the work along with you guys. But I also see where I used to be and where I'm at now. And that is literally two different people. The more you learn through these practices, through this work, to feel a yes in your body, to feel a sense of aliveness, openness, spaciousness, willingness for what you want, to start to feel really safe, really comfortable with what you want, then the greater your capacity to create it, to receive it, to hold it, to have it becomes. So now let's move into the practices. I want to give you some simple, everyday practices that you can use to begin this rewiring of your nervous system, of your body, of your brain, and of your identity. And these practices are going to increase the quality of your receiving, essentially bring in more pleasure, more ease, more nourishment in the process of creating more. They're going to help you release resistance, release tension. They're going to help you embody your bigness, embody your spaciousness, and shift into a new identity, a new way of being you, so that you can create from a more easeful, more enjoyable place. And four, these practices are going to start to help you to activate this inner wisdom, this inner built-in GPS that is your body, so that you can start to lead yourself and create from your own authentic authority. These practices are basically going to help you have a shift of paradigm, of perception, and a shift of body. So let's get to it. And just remember, by the way, like, these are simple, these are fun, these are things you can do every day. They are the tip of the iceberg of what I teach you in the expansion experience. There's only so much I can teach you in this setting without me getting my hands on you, without knowing that we are in a safe container where you can ask questions, where I can lead you like through practices face to face and be there to essentially guide you to make those your own. So practice number 1. The first thing I want to invite you to do in these simple ways of shifting how you are showing up and being is I want to invite you to not deny your needs, your wants, and your impulses. For a lot of us, we are conditioned to have our perception in our external world, to pay attention to what everybody else needs. And this is especially true for you if you are a woman. This is extra true for you if you are a woman of color to some degree. And it's extra true for you if you are a mother. Now, if you are a man, this is also true for you. But I think women are particularly conditioned to forget themselves. So my first practice, my first invitation is that I want you to start to pay attention and to not deny what it is you want, what it is you need, and even these natural impulses that can come through out of nowhere. And I want to invite you to start listening to what would feel really good to you and not shame yourself or not deny yourself that. Start trusting these impulses. Start trusting your desires in some ways. If you've been in my world, you have heard me say before, your desires are your destiny. Your desires literally show you what you're destined for. I truly believe that. Your desires are good. So start to give yourself permission to play around, to get curious, and to follow what feels good and start trusting what feels good in your life, in your business, in what you eat, in the way you move your body, in your habits, and kind of like ask yourself, what would feel good right now? What would feel nourishing? What would feel easeful right now? What would I enjoy right now? And start to give yourself the right, the permission to start to follow that more in your personal life as well as in your work and your business. What you're doing here is you're teaching the body that it's okay to enjoy your life, that it's okay to follow what feels good, tastes good, sounds good, looks good. You're teaching your body that growth should feel nourishing. And in doing that, you are starting to unwind an old programming of hustle, having to earn it, having to push for it, having to sacrifice for it. So I want to invite you to like enjoy your comfy chair. Enjoy, like if you have a really comfortable bed, like steep in the enjoyment of your bed, like luxury in the bath, like essentially start to rewire your body to pause and take in the good and to feel safe and not feel shame or guilt around taking in the good. Enjoy that piece of chocolate cake. Really let yourself indulge in it. I think we're good with the dogs. Allow yourself to enjoy a nice breeze. Really enjoy a nice piece of music. Enjoy the sale you just made. Celebrate it. Take it in. Learn to relax and teach your body to relax and to open to what feels good. And we're doing that because we want to start essentially rewiring the body and the brain to expect success, our life, our growth to feel good and to feel safe with our life feeling good. Remember, I don't know if it was in this training, but I'll say this sometimes quite a bit. Like, we've been so conditioned to expect things to be hard that when they come too easy, we don't trust it. Like, have you ever heard that saying? It's if it's too good to be true, it's not true. Like literally, we are conditioned, our brain, we have sayings that basically said, it's supposed to be unpleasant. It's supposed to be hard. If it's not hard, something's wrong. And that's what we're starting to break, and we're starting to rewire within ourselves. So whenever you encounter in your life, this is part of this practice, whenever you encounter in your life something that feels really safe to you, something that feels nourishing, something that feels good, that feels enjoyable, stop, pause, really take it in, steep in it, allow it to spread through every cell in your body so that you normalize in your body that life and business is supposed to feel good. And you start to increase your body and your brain's, your nervous system's capacity for feeling good. Because in the end, everything you desire, I don't care if it's a significant other, I don't care if it's more money, I don't care if it's more client, I don't care if it's a big impact in the world, everything you desire, the end result, the reason you desire it is because you want to feel good. So the first step is to increase our capacity to feel good. So in this first practice, you're working both on rewiring your body to trust pleasure, and you're also, because you're asking yourself what would feel good, you're also starting to work on that communication between your brain and your boundless body and discerning the language of your body. So that's practice one. Practice two is kind of like a continuation of practice one. But one of the things that I struggle with the most is that I'm a giver and I'm a people pleaser by nature, or I was conditioned that way in my childhood. And so for a long time, I had to practice to make sure that whatever choice I made was that I was essentially never dishonoring or abandoning myself in the process of serving, supporting, or pleasing someone else. And so I've had to work hard to claim, to really own that my life belongs to me. And that it's okay that I and my well-being are a priority to me. That essentially I am no less important than anybody else who comes into my life. And for those of you who are moms, this is especially necessary and especially hard, because everything about the way your biology is made to make you feel like your family is more important than you. And so here's the thing, more than likely, if you're watching this training, if you're interested in this work, you are a giver. And so this practice, I want to invite you to kind of play around with what would it be like if you were your own priority? What would it be like if you claimed and owned that your life, your joy, your health, your rest, your finances, your growth is just as important as anyone else's? And because it is yours, because your life belongs to you, it's literally your primary responsibility to safeguard that body and that life. You are essentially an ambassador for that body and the life that you were given. So if you really own that, how would you treat yourself? What would you say no to? What standards would you put in place? What would you stop tolerating from other people? In what way would you reclaim your time, your life, and in what way would you essentially cultivate the good in your life? So the second practice, my invitation here, is to play around with this idea that my life belongs to me. I am its ambassador. My body belongs to me. I am its ambassador. And it is my primary responsibility to make sure that I feel good, and I have it good. And so put in place some rituals around self-care, around self-love. Become a boundary that really protects your time and your energy. Have clear standards. Because when you do that, that sets up the foundation for knowing what you want, asking for what you want, going after what you want, and being able to receive what you want without shame or fear or guilt. So that's practice 2. Your life belongs to you. How does that show up when you really embody that? With practice 3, I want to move in a slightly different direction, and I want to start to retrain or unwind the conditioning that we have to feel uncomfortable with receiving and with support. So this is super simple, but it's actually harder than most of us realize. But practice 3 is I want to invite you to start to take in and allow in compliments, small gestures, and support. And I mean that in all sorts of ways. And when they come to you, when somebody gives you a compliment, when somebody does something nice for you, when somebody offers to support you in some way, and it could be as simple as somebody offering to carry something that's heavy for you, or to reach, I'm really short. So like, you should see me at the grocery store trying to reach stuff that's on the higher shelves. I'm like climbing on shit. And it's been hard for me, it was hard for me to ask people for help, or to allow someone, like somebody would like walk back and by and see me like climbing on stuff and be like, would you like me to grab this for you? And I'd be like, no, I'm good. I got it. Thanks so much. Why? Why am I like climbing over stuff, like risking the entire thing toppling on me when somebody's right there who can just reach and grab and hand it to me? And so in this third practice, we're unwinding some conditioning where we've been trained to dismiss, to refuse, to resist being taken care of, being supported. Like we'll get a compliment, we're like, oh, this whole thing, like I've had it for years. It comes from Target. It's secondhand. Like, oh, I don't need this. I've got it. No thanks. I'm good. Release all of that. And literally, when somebody comes to you and wants to give you something, anything, that it feels good, that is nice, I want you to pause, I want you to open, and I want you to say, thank you. That would be lovely. Most of us are uncomfortable with receiving. We do all this work. We say we want more, but we have armoring in place that resists receiving. To some degree, it feels threatening. It feels vulnerable to our system to receive, to be supported. And so my invitation to you is to become aware of any kind of habit of resisting support, resisting compliments, resisting the good to come into your life. Even like maybe even sometimes like this weirdness of saying thank you to somebody. And I want to invite you to start reteaching your nervous system, your body, that being supported is not only available, it is safe. And start reteaching your nervous system to allow in support and kindness. Because if you can't be supported, you won't be able to grow. We're not islands. We can't, there's going to come a moment where your capacity will be capped if you're not able to allow others to support you. So allow someone to carry your bag, to clear your plates, to make a meal for you, to open your door, to give you compliments, to reach for something you can't reach. And just say thank you and teach your body to soften and to open to the support and to really take it in. Feel supported, feel grateful, feel worthy and deserving of the sweetness of the support, because most of us don't realize receiving is actually a softening of our armoring. Like, and I do this, right? I talk a lot about capacity, increasing your capacity. And there's some truth to that. If your capacity is too small, everything is going to feel overwhelming. But truly, receiving is something we used to do naturally. As babies, as children, we had no qualms in receiving. And then we started putting walls up. And so receiving is a softening of those walls, of that armoring, of that bracing. Okay? So that's practice number 3. Take in compliments, take in support, teach your body to relax and to open to it rather than dismissing it and resisting it. Practice 4, as we discussed in, I think it was part 3. Like becoming aware of chronic tension and teaching the body to open, to relax, to come into rest, to unwind that bracing and resistance I was talking about is a foundational piece of increasing your capacity and allowing yourself to receive. So in this practice 4, what I want to invite you to do is to start to really stretch your body, to use your breath and movement to melt chronic tension that's being held in your body. Hot yoga, deep stretching. I think Kayut yoga like uses your own body weight to start to open and release all that chronic tension. Go like steep in a bath, go to an infrared sauna, like anything that is, or steam room at your gym, anything that is going to start to allow you to literally start to melt the tension and the resistance that is held in your body chronically. Notice when you are bracing, when you are resisting, when something feels tight, and consciously choose to open, to relax, both in terms of emotionally, like notice when you're bracing against something and release your judgment, release the internal war, release your resistance to it, and also notice when your body is tight and release that. And what you're doing here is you're teaching your body to live and to move from openness, to live and to move in the yes. You're teaching your body that there's not a saber-toothed tiger that's going to jump out of the bushes if you stop for a minute to smell the roses. That just because you took a moment to relax, to see the beauty around you, to take in the good, that you're not going to be injured or killed. So again, you're shifting a very, very old patterning that's coded in your body. So that's practice 4, very physical, very tangible. Use movement, use heat, use your breath to start to release chronic tension that is held in your body. Do some stretching, do some yoga, do some swimming. If you find your body like clenching or tightening or resisting, literally consciously open, relax, use your breath to stop resisting a sound you don't like, to start resisting a smell you don't like, to stop resisting the cold, like essentially to release your resistance. Now that's practice number 4. Practice number 5 is about teaching your body to take more space without shame, guilt, or fear, and without apology. And I think it was part 4, when we were talking about the boundless body and spaciousness, I gave you a practice that was very tangible. about literally teaching your body to start taking more space, like more space on the couch, more space in your bed, like taking a bigger helping of dinner, like literally, like physically more. What I want you to play with in practice 5 here is to start to take more energetic space. Get curious, where are you holding back? Where are you not speaking up? Where are you keeping yourself silent or muted? Where are you trying not to make waves? What are you not saying or not doing or not asking because you don't want to be seen as too much? And I want to invite you to start to take small steps towards honoring and giving voice to your truth, to your boldness, to your authenticity. And as you're doing that, like if you go to ask for what you need, or if you go to say no to someone, or if you go to say in your business, hey, most practitioners are full of shit, this is the truth. And you're like, I can't say that. Like, as you start to move towards being the truest, biggest version of you energetically and unleashing your voice on the world, I want you to ask yourself, what does my body need right now to feel safe being this big, being this loud, this proud, this visible? So you're playing with stepping into more and being more. And you're also playing with how to provide that missing experience that your body needs to feel safe doing that. Because I'm really about keeping you regulated as you grow. So that's practice 5. Look for where you're censoring yourself, where you're editing yourself, where you're trying to please and step in the truth of you, the truth of your voice, and start unleashing the boldness, the bigness, the trueness. I don't think that's a word, but I'm using it anyways. That is you. And then check in. What would my body need for me to feel safe asking that? What would my body need to feel safe being this big, saying this? And so you're playing with safety and bigness, and it's a dance between back and forth between the two. And then I have one last practice for you. And by the way, this is one I struggle with myself. Finally, we rewire learning to receive more with more ease by taking the time to savor our wins. So this practice 6, I want to invite you to start to put a ritual in place to celebrate every little win that you create in your life and in your work. Really pause every day and take the time to be proud of yourself. Take the time to notice your accomplishments. Take the time to notice what went well and to start to feel nourished by that. Like for the longest time, I was like, okay, a sale, good. What's next? Oh, okay, yeah, I did this on my to-do list. What's next? I was totally unable to stop and be like, wow, good job. This feels good. I'm so excited. And to really celebrate winning. You cannot be a winner and live a life that is filled with winning if you cannot celebrate winning on a regular basis. Literally, us pausing to take a time to really acknowledge and take in and feel the win is how we normalize winning in our bodies and in our brain. It's how we make winning expected and no big deal so that we can have more and more and more of it. So here, it's all about pleasure. It's all about shifting the quality of your receivership so that you can really start to take in what's working rather than something works and then you're right away moving to what's next. What's next that needs to be fixed? What's next that needs to be done? when you learn to really steep and take in what's working and to start to feel satisfied with how your life is going, what you get is more satisfaction. When you increase the quality of your joy, of the fun, of the pleasure, of the ease that you experience in your life, then you actually start to need less and less good things because you're actually increasing your ability to take in the nourishment of it. And because receiving starts to feel good, you literally increase your capacity for it naturally. You no longer resist or block it. Sometimes I talk about this level of qualitative receiving as vertical receiving. Most of us are stuck in horizontal receiving. We just stay at the surface of receiving. Like we might barely acknowledge, oh, great, I'm glad I learned to do this, or I'm glad I finished this project, or I'm glad I got this sale. And we're staying right on the surface of it. And we're moving through our lives this way. What I'm talking about here is pausing when something good is happening and literally going deep, vertical, going deep into the enjoyment and the celebration of that win. And in doing that, you actually teach your capacity to increase for the good. Does that make sense? So this is your last practice. Learn to celebrate. Learn to pause and take in your wins, to have a little celebration ritual for your wins, and not just the big wins, the little ones. What did I do today that worked? What did I do today that I'm proud of? What happened today that went well? This is more than a gratitude list. This is really about embodying the identity of a winner and recalibrating your neurology and your biochemistry to be a winner. All right, that's what I have for you today. And remember, if you want to go a lot deeper in this embodied wealth process, if you want to experience the depth of this boundless body, boundless money protocol and work with all the teaching, all the practices that I use to rewire you for more wealth, for more ease, for more joy, then I want to invite you to check out the Somatic Mastermind and to join the expansion experience now in today or tomorrow at the latest, while the March Money and Miracle special is going on, so that you can literally save up to $1,400 from the regular price, and you can start for as low as $144. Everything you need to know about what's included is on the Google Doc in the description of this training. The expansion experience includes tons of powerful practices and expansion experiments. Every week you get a brand new practice. You get multiple expansion experiments to play with. And those, by the way, they're identity shifting experiments to kind of help you show up in your life in a different way. You get a bunch of those each month. You get 3 retreat styles, small group incubators per month where we practice together. You get your questions answered. We tweak the process to you so that you can do it in a way that's going to really shift you. There's an entire curriculum to quantum leap your expansion, and you get one-on-one sessions with me. At every level of investment, there is one-on-one sessions with me to customize this process to you. So it's a really robust, really in-depth program that will absolutely transform your life, your business, your wealth. Here are some of the results that clients have experienced, created, that you can look forward to. Imagine activating that boundless body and suddenly being able to, triple what you're making easily and move past all those invisible barriers that have kept you small, that have kept you silent, that have kept your income capped. I've had people double, triple, quadruple their prices, what they've made in a year by doing this work. Being able to create a super simple, stress-free business model that maybe has recurring revenue, so it's truly profitable for you while also giving you more freedom to actually live and enjoy your life. Being able to wake up every morning feeling enthused and feeling clear and being able to take effortless action because you know exactly what to do to move the needles, to make some sales, to grow, and you're not feeling any overwhelm or any doubt, any second guessing around it. Imagine being so authentically you and so safe being you that you are effortlessly seen in your life, in your business, and your ideal clients, if you're an entrepreneur, or the people who are meant to partner with you in your life, they know right away that you are the one for them. Or maybe being able to shift your mood. I will teach you how to shift your mood, your energy, your state back to excited, back to motivated, back to peaceful, back to trust in minutes, no matter what life throws at you. And imagine being able to create more revenue, higher revenue, relaxed from rest. Having access to higher and higher levels of safety, of joy, of play in your day-to-day, so that you can finally feel deeply nourished in and by your life, your business, and your receivership. This is what I want for you. The expansion experience is a complete journey into personal, business, and income expansion. It helps you reclaim your innate power and shift into unwavering trust so that you can turn what used to feel impossible into inevitable. Here's the truth. Expansion, whether it's professional or personal, isn't just strategy. It's neurology, it's identity, and it's energy. And in the expansion experience, we work on all four of those to maximize maximize you getting to where you want to get to with as much ease and as much speed as possible. It would be my honor, my pleasure to put my 20 years of experience as a psychotherapist, as an expansion expert, as a strategist to work for you and to help you create what you want in your life and your business with flow, with freedom, with a deep sense of nourishment and enjoyment. In this work together, we'll rewire your nervous system, we'll calibrate your body, your self-identity, your business, we'll shift your energy for easeful growth, for impactful visibility, for consistent results, so that you can create exciting new levels of growth and money in a way that really truly nourishes all of you, from your soul to your bank account. And I'll help you do that without a whole bunch of pressure, overwhelm, or sacrifice. So if this feels exciting to you, then please check out the Google Doc in the description of this video and join us now. Today, tomorrow is your last opportunity to join us while we're in our March Money and Miracles special, and to basically save up to $1,400 to start for as low as $144 And I will remind you, I said that at the beginning of this video, but if you are someone who you're kind of joining us late and you would love to get on a quick chat before you move forward, you know this is for you. Like, money's not an issue, you can make it work, but you just have a question or you want to meet me face to face before you move forward, I've opened a few calls in my schedule to do that. If you book your call by today or tomorrow, April 1st, even if we have our call in 10 days or so, I will honor this current price. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.